Now I know you got half the world that says, oil's horrible, fossil fuels, this and fossil fuels, that, and, whatever. I'm not here to debate that. What I am here to let you know is we can have that argument till I'm 60, I'm only 35. So, but that entire time we're having that argument, we're still going to be pumping oil, right? Oh, well, what about the electric cars, Eric? It's great. They don't just make gas out of petroleum. You ever heard of petroleum jelly? You know, the stuff you put on your face? That's also made out of petroleum, all right? There are so many products that is used from, oil that we're never going to stop using it, right? It's just never going to stop. We're going to continuously use it. If they were so scared about it, they wouldn't be spending billions upon billions of dollars searching for more, right? Now, with that being said, well, isn't it expensive and da 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 da? Yeah, it is. And when you're dealing with certain companies, right? When you're dealing with the company, it is expensive. It's risky. You don't know because you're getting management, right? You have management. You have people that are greedy, that like to go fly in a private jet a little bit too much, right? Or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Mismanagement of capital, mismanagement of management, whatever it is. Well, remember we were talking about REITs, real estate investment trusts. Well, through this, we got something called an MLP, a master limited partnership, right? So no longer are you just an owner of the company, like a little itty bitty owner of Exxon. You're actually a partner in one of these companies, right? Now, these companies, they're not quite as much of your exploration and all that kind of stuff. That's risky. Now, if you hit like lotto, you hit like lotto, but there's a lot of times that you don't, and you drill dry, right? And then look at all that money you wasted, right? Shareholder money, my and your money, right? Well, with the MLP, they're not really into the exploration stuff. They're more into pipelines, refineries, tank farms, right? The more of the brick and mortar type of stuff, right? The stuff that makes America move, right? So what an MLP is, right? So in the oil business, you there's different ways to get into it. I don't want to like confuse you too much because it can get a little confusing, right? So when you have something called working interest, right? So you can invest, let's say Exxon or Joe Smo is drilling the pipe, drilling the hole, right? Well, they don't want to have all the money involved in it, right? They only want to have a certain amount of money into it. And so they're going to be like, look, Eric, give me X amount of dollars every month, and I'm going to give you X amount of working interest, right? And then once the oil starts popping out, right? That working interest, whatever percentage that we already came up with, is how much of that oil that you're going to be getting, right? How much money you're going to be getting, right? That's the very simplified version of it, but for lack of time and wanting to confuse you, that's the easiest way to think about it. So a lot of these MLPs, they supply some working interest. I mean, a lot of these companies have done it a while ago. So, I mean, I'm just explaining the basics of what it is, right? But they've done it a while ago. So they, like, from, the 80s, 90s, early thousands. So they already have oil that's pumping out. They already have the client. And then in some of these, they already have the gas station to sell it to you. So we're talking about, we're not trying to go look for the oil, we're not trying to do that. No, we're investing in companies that already have an oil stream, right? They already have the oil. They already have the refinery. They already have the pipelines. They already have the storage facilities. They already have it all, right? So all we're doing is just buying a percentage of the partnership to start collecting royalty checks. That's it. Partnership checks, dividend checks, whatever you want to call them. They're all the same thing. They're paying you. whatever you want to call it, coupon. It's all the same thing. It means that they give you money, right? Now let's get into the companies. All right, let's break down into the companies. MMP. So, like always, let's check out the dividend yield. So on this, we're making 6% on our money. Excuse me. It's a $14 billion company. So, don't really too much worry about them going out of business anytime soon. They're quite large. And what these do, what this company is, it's different than like a exploration company. All right, as you see, they have 9,700 mile refined products pipeline system with 53 terminals as well as 26 independent terminals not connected to pipelines. I mean, when you look at their map, it's just like, wow, right? Like they basically this entire region throughout the United States, the middle America, they control. They got pipelines everywhere. So, I mean, it's just an easy, steady flow of capital. They're not ever going to stop paying, right? And what I did just to show is, oh no, here we go. Sorry. Quick 5 years on the dividends, right? And like clockwork, pay no problem. So when you put it like that, like just put it like this. So this is a pretty much easy peasy 6% of your money every 3 months. I mean, that's beautiful. The next one, right? This one we're looking at a 10% yield on our money, right? Now that's and it's in the business that we all know, right? Or if you live on this part of the United States, you've heard of them, right? Or if you like, let's see what do they're in NASCAR, or if you ever heard of any of these brands right here, then you know what I'm talking about. You're talking about Sunoco, right? They're in everything. They're in. I mean, they're not quite as much in the pipeline business, but we're going to get into their like big picture here in just a second. The next company. But the reason I say invest in this one, just because they give such great return on the investment, and it's a recognizable company. And as we can see, they're not going out of business anytime soon. As long as people are filling up gas stations or going to convenience stores, buying snacks, getting gas, diesel, then it's NASCAR, Indy 500 or IndyCar, NHRA. Don't know what that is, but I'm sure most of you guys do out there. So it's just guaranteed. It's they're in entertainment, they're in necessities, they're in snacks, they're in everything. And then look at all these different gas stations that they also supply, right? The oil, gasoline too. Now the big boy, right, which basically trumps both of these companies, is this one, Energy Transfer. They don't quite pay quite as much Sunoco, but let's look right here. They're invested in Sunoco, right? So they're a large investor of Sunoco. So when you're buying this company, you're not only are you going to get 10% of your money on Sunoco, which they've been paying for quite some time, so you're getting it on the retail and everything, but you're also getting it on the much larger infrastructure, right? A huge company. You're getting it on this, right? A $33 billion company. And they've been paying consistently. No problem. And then when you look at their infrastructure, they're kind of like, let's go back and I'll show you. They're kind of like them right here, MMP, right? but they have a lot more in the Northeast, right? You can't, I don't know. Let me see if I can get this smaller so you can see. No. All right. Well, all right. Well, these are energy transfer assets, right? You can't it won't scroll down anymore, right? But you'll get these notes, so you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. But these are mostly just like different assets that they have. Those squares are the terminals, and these are pipelines, right? So they got your pipeline out of Montana. They got it out of basically all these states right here, going to California, a whole bunch of just infrastructure to continuously generate capital, right? And then, what Obama did in a few years ago now is allowed us to export our oil. So these companies right here that already have a foothold in the pipeline industry, the retail, and what I'm saying, the natural gas, and the different type of like ammonia, uh, pipelines, all different type of gases, petroleums, they're set up perfectly to continuously pay you over and over and over again. So, like with these three companies, this one is it's expensive, but you're gonna make a decent return on your money. This one's a little bit cheaper, making a decent return on your money. And then the behemoth, it's even cheaper. And it all depends on where your money comes in. That's another reason I gave you three different opportunities. But how cool is that to be able to invest with the oil? And it's not as in investing with exploratory company, right? To where it's very risky. You're investing in companies that are well established, already having like their income coming in. They've already been paying dividends. It's very obvious they've been paying dividends. You can look it up, and they pay you a great return on your money just to sit and have ownership or being a partner.